Hey everyone, this is Jane with Barlow Herbal, and in this video I'm going to share some information with you on valerian root and vervain. Now these two plants have some very similar properties in the fact that they go after things like insomnia and anxiety. They've been around a long time and they've been studied extensively for many years. So the information I share with you in this video is not meant to be medical advice. This is based on my own experience and is my own opinion based on not just the research, but me using these two plants and mainly valerian root in my own life for issues that I've had surrounding insomnia and anxiety, which we all have depending on what's going on in our life. In fact, I use these two plants in tincture form extensively when my mom passed away, and she passed away about 10 years ago. So this was something that I thought I was ready to handle. I don't think you're ever ready to lose a parent, but there was a lot of stress surrounding this whole event, and there was a lot of family, there was a lot of grief, and this really helped keep me in a place of calmness, steadiness. From my experience, it doesn't make you groggy, it doesn't make you feel like you just need to lay down and go to sleep. This actually puts your body in a place of homeostasis because from my own research, I've discovered that it calms the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. It works on a receptor in your brain, the GABA receptor in your brain. It's a neurotransmitter, and valerian is very well known for affecting that receptor, which helps to bring calmness to your brain and to those systems, those nervous systems. So please know that this is not meant to be medical advice. This is my own opinion based on my own experience. So please do your own due diligence and seek out a qualified healthcare practitioner, especially if you're having anxiety and insomnia, or if you're on any other medications that might interfere with the properties of valerian root or vervain. So in my new book, Be Your Own Shaman, I actually have valerian. And here's a picture of the beautiful flowers. Now you can see I've got an illustrated picture here of what the whole plant looks like. And if you can see, I'm gonna go up in here a little bit close. Look at those root systems. Actually, I don't know how clear I can get that. But the roots are very thin and a little bit stringy looking. In fact, if you've ever seen a valerian root being pulled out of the ground, it actually has, it almost kind of looks like, not necessarily a brain, but kind of. There's so many little tendrils going out. It's a really beautiful plant to harvest. Now, the time of the day that you harvest most, or the time of year you harvest most root herbs is in the fall, when the plant on top of the ground has gone dormant and all of the concentration of the medicinal goodness is now concentrated in the root. That's usually the time to collect your bitters, your roots that have the medicinal properties. And that is very true with valerian. Now, valerian comes with a whole list of things, and I made some notes here because I didn't want to forget them, but I'm going to go through this really quickly because this is such a long history. In fact, let me tell you some of the history. Europe and Asia is really where valerian grows native, and there's been species that have been brought over to North America, and you can cultivate it. It's actually really beautiful in your flower garden, and it's a perennial. It keeps coming back, and you can actually transplant pieces of valerian root, and it's very hardy. You can take it and put it in a different part of your garden. There's a way to swirl the roots around in some soil, covered up, and in the spring it will come back. It's a very hardy plant. So because you do take out the root to use in your herbal remedies, it's a good thing not to take the whole plant, but to actually move some parts of it around into different places in your garden so that it can keep growing. But it is very hardy. So here's some of the health benefits of valerian root. Improves sleep quality, reduces anxiety and stress, eases menstrual cramps. Okay, I found this to be true during the times that I needed this during my life. Supports relaxation, aids in headache relief, and improves cognitive function. And this is where those GABA receptors, those neuroreceptors come into play. So there's different ways to incorporate this into your herbal remedies. My favorite way is in a tincture, and I'll tell you why. Because you can get valerian tea. Usually it's mixed with other herbs like passion flower or skullcap. That's very common because valerian has a really, really strong taste and a strong smell. In fact, some people will even say it smells like dirty socks because it does have kind of a funky smell to it. But my favorite is to actually take valerian root and put it into a tincture, and here's why. Because there are some powerful oils and tannins and constituents. The medicinal compounds are extracted and made more powerful when they're extracted in an alcohol base. And many of you have heard me say that my favorite, you can use vodka, which is a really easy to get. I like using 190 proof, and I like doing a 1 to 2 menstruum, where that's your strength. And I go over how to make an herbal tincture in another video. I'll put a link to that below this video, where I talk about how you get a 1 to 2 menstruum. You can also do it less. You can do a 1 to 4. You could do 1 to 6. You could do a less strength of a tincture, but the way I prefer it is I like to do a strong tincture, and then it gives me more bang for my buck in the bottle. Okay, so there's different ways, and I really do believe that you get a more powerful herbal remedy with valerian when it's in a tincture form, because you can actually get valerian in a tea or capsules. It's actually a pretty easy plant to get. Now, there's a huge history with valerian root in ancient Greece and Rome. In fact, Hippocrates actually said, he described valerian's medicinal properties in his writings, and he highlighted it for its various medicinal, the benefits, the health benefits that it would provide. In fact, here's what he wrote. For treating sleeplessness, one should seek remedies to soothe the mind and body. This is directly a quote from Hippocrates. The use of plants with calming properties and can aid in achieving restful sleep and balance within the body. Such remedies should be prepared with care, understanding the natural virtues they hold. So I know from personal experience with valerian that it is something that I would really suggest you do some further research on, because it's something that you can find very easily, and I love how fast the transportation into the body is with an herbal tincture. Now I do add it to a little bit of water because it is very, very strong. All the tinctures we make are strong, but in particular with valerian, because it does have such a funky taste to it and smell, I've reached a point where I pretty much love the smell of even some of these really hardcore bitters types of herbs that just have this strong smell. In fact, over the years I've had people say different things like, "Oh, we love this tincture of yours. Every time I give it to my kids, or they ask for it, they're asked for, like, I need some of that nasty stuff." So sometimes they'll even get a name attached to it because of the way that it tastes. And I know that if you're used to taking herbal remedies, you're used to taking things out of your diet that are processed and full of all kinds of unnatural flavors, then you actually bring your taste buds back to the way Mother Nature intended, right? So here's a quick list of things that describe Vervain. So we've got 2 V words. Vervain is good for stress relief. It's a digestive aid. It has some anti-inflammatory properties. It's good for your liver support, respiratory health, immune boosting, and again, menstrual relief. So if you've got, you're a woman, no matter what your age is, with cramping, this is really good for going. And I actually used this extensively when I was in that time of my life, which lasted a long time for most women till you get to on the other side. Now this one is also good in tea form, tincture, infused oil. A lot of people will put Vervain into a bath. So you can do it, you can infuse it into an oil, maybe put it in with some Epsom salts. And, I've actually dropped tinctures into baths along with Epsom salts, just because I know how they absorb into your skin. It's just such a nice way to get it, which is awesome. Now you can also grow Vervain in your flower garden. right? Okay, and it also has a ton of use in ancient Greece and Europe and Asia. You know, these are two plants that you can definitely grow in your yard and have access to. The parts of the plant you use for vervain are the flowers and the leaves. So different from valerian, which is the root. So I would love to know what you think about these two plants. And if you've used them, I think many of you are probably more familiar with valerian, especially the root of valerian, than vervain. And I think I'm so familiar with both because they're together in a blend that we call R-Tran. This is one of my dad's original tincture blends. It stands for relaxant and tranquility. So R-Tran. And I know many people over the years who've had incredible benefits, not just, you know, people that are in my life, but people who've actually reported back this has made a huge difference in the way that I can walk through life when I have these serious times of anxiety. So I'm going to say again, please use your best judgment, use your best due diligence. Know that this is all my opinion based on my own experience. So I would love to hear what you think about this plant. Maybe you have it growing in your yard and you didn't realize that it was valerian and it was something that you could actually dig the root up and prepare the root. In fact, in my book, Be Your Own Shaman, I teach you how to make a tincture. And you can see the part of the plants that you use, what time of day do you collect them, what time of year do you collect them. This is very, very important. This is when you harvest things like lomatium, is because you want to wait until the top of the plant has gone dormant. All of the life force is now concentrated in the root. So a lot of these things are important to know. But I'd love to hear what you think about this, and if you've personally been using either valerian root or blue vervain in your in-home herbal apothecary. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll talk to you soon.